Today our topic is why failure is the best teacher. Failure is something everyone experiences, but not everyone understands its value. Many people fear failure, avoid it, or feel ashamed when it happens. But the truth is, failure is one of the most powerful teachers in life. It teaches us lessons that success never could. When we fail, we are forced to stop, think, and reflect. We learn what went wrong, what we could have done differently, and how to improve. Failure pushes us to grow, to become stronger, and to develop resilience. It is not the opposite of success. It is a part of success. Let me explain why failure is so important and how it can help us in life. First, failure teaches us humility. When we fail, we realize that we are not perfect. We understand that we have limits, and that is okay. Humility is a valuable quality because it keeps us grounded. It reminds us that we are human and that we need to keep learning. Without failure, we might become arrogant or overconfident. We might think we know everything and stop trying to improve. But failure shows us that there is always room to grow. It keeps us humble and open to new ideas. Second, failure helps us discover our true strengths. When we succeed, everything seems easy. But when we fail, we are tested. We have to dig deep and find the strength to keep going. Failure shows us what we are made of. It reveals our courage, determination, and ability to adapt. For example, think about a time when you failed at something. Maybe you didn't get the job you wanted, or you didn't do well on a test. At first, it might have felt terrible. But then, you probably picked yourself up and tried again. That process of getting back up after falling is where real strength is built. Failure shows us that we are capable of more than we think. Third, failure teaches us important life lessons. Success often feels good, but it doesn't always teach us much. Failure, on the other hand, forces us to learn. When we fail, we have to figure out what went wrong. We analyze our mistakes and think about how to avoid them in the future. This process of learning from failure is how we improve. For example, Thomas Edison, the inventor of the light bulb, failed thousands of times before he succeeded. But he didn't see those failures as a waste of time. Instead, he said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Each failure taught him something new and brought him closer to success. This mindset is what we should all aim for. Failure is not the end. It is a step toward improvement. Fourth, failure builds resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back after a setback. It is a skill that helps us face challenges and keep going, even when things are hard. Failure is one of the best ways to build resilience because it forces us to deal with disappointment and keep trying. The more we fail, the more we learn how to handle difficult situations. Over time, we become stronger and more confident in our ability to overcome obstacles. For example, think about a child learning to ride a bike. At first, they fall many times, but each time they fall, they get back up and try again. Eventually, they learn how to ride the bike. The same is true in life. Each failure makes us a little stronger and prepares us for the next challenge. Fifth, failure helps us appreciate success. When everything comes easily, we might take success for granted. But when we have to work hard and overcome failures to achieve something, we appreciate it much more. Failure makes success sweeter because we know how much effort it took to get there. It reminds us that nothing valuable comes without struggle. For example, imagine two people, one who succeeds at everything on their first try, and another who has to work hard and fail many times before they succeed. Who do you think will appreciate their success more? The second person, because they know the journey it took to get there. Failure gives us a deeper appreciation for our achievements. Sixth, failure encourages creativity and innovation. When we fail, we are forced to think outside the box. We have to come up with new ideas and try different approaches. This process of trial and error is how many great inventions and discoveries are made. Failure pushes us to be creative and find solutions to problems. For example, many successful entrepreneurs have failed multiple times before they found the right idea. Each failure taught them something new and helped them refine their approach. Without failure, they might never have discovered the path to success. Failure encourages us to take risks and try new things, which is essential for growth and innovation. Seventh, failure helps us develop empathy. When we fail, we understand what it feels like to struggle. This makes us more compassionate toward others who are going through difficult times. Failure teaches us to be kind and supportive, because we know how much it hurts to fail. It helps us connect with others on a deeper level and build stronger relationships. For example, someone who has experienced failure in their career is more likely to understand and support a colleague who is struggling. Failure makes us better people because it teaches us to care about others. Eighth, failure reminds us that life is not perfect. We live in a world that often pressures us to be perfect. Social media, for example, shows us only the highlights of people's lives. This can make us feel like we are the only ones who fail. But the truth is, everyone fails. Even the most successful people have faced setbacks and disappointments. Failure reminds us that life is messy and unpredictable. It teaches us to accept imperfections and focus on progress, not perfection. This mindset is much healthier and more realistic. It allows us to enjoy the journey of life, even when things don't go as planned. Finally, failure teaches us to embrace change. When we fail, we often have to change our plans or try a new approach. This can be uncomfortable, but it is also an opportunity for growth. Failure forces us to step out of our comfort zone and try new things. It teaches us to be flexible and adaptable, which are important skills in a constantly changing world. For example, if you fail at a job, you might have to consider a different career path. This can be scary, but it might also lead you to something better. Failure pushes us to embrace change and see it as an opportunity, not a threat. In conclusion, failure is not something to fear or avoid. It is a natural part of life and a powerful teacher. Failure teaches us humility, resilience, creativity, empathy, and many other valuable lessons. It helps us grow, improve, and appreciate success. The next time you fail, remember that it is not the end. It is just a step on the path to becoming the best version of yourself. Embrace failure, learn from it, and keep moving forward. As the famous saying goes, failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of success. So don't be afraid to fail. It is one of the best teachers you will ever have.